What's it like to grow up surrounded by unimaginable wealth, where homes rival royal palaces and luxury is just part of daily life? For Donald Trump's children, this was their normal. Ivanka's $32 million mansion on Miami's Billionaire bunker and Barron's private floor in Trump Tower are just glimpses into their world. Today, each Trump heir commands their own sprawling estate, travels to the most exclusive destinations, and wears outfits worth the price of a house. With net worths reaching as high as Ivanka's $800 million, the Trump family's lifestyle redefines modern luxury. Let's take a closer look inside their extraordinary lives. Luxury traveling. When it comes to the Trump children, luxury and controversy seem to go hand in hand, especially when it involves travel. From high-end golf course openings to international resort assessments, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Tiffany Trump have made headlines not just for where they go, but for how much it costs the American taxpayer. Since the start of Donald Trump's presidency in 2017, the adult Trump children collectively took a staggering 3,249 trips requiring Secret Service protection. To put that into perspective, the Obama family required only 933 such trips over a span of 7 years. These figures don't just highlight their jet-setting lifestyle, they reveal a hidden cost that sparked intense scrutiny across the political spectrum. The heart of the controversy lies in how personal business ventures and lavish leisure often intersected with public resources. Take, for example, the Trump brothers' trip to Dubai for the grand opening of a Trump-branded golf course. Just that single excursion cost over $200,000 in Secret Service expenses. Around the same time, Eric Trump's travel to the Dominican Republic and 2 separate trips to Uruguay, each connected to Trump-branded properties, racked up tens of thousands more in hotel security bills. These weren't diplomatic missions or official state duties, they were business-driven endeavors with taxpayers left holding the bill. Ivanka Trump, although serving in an official capacity as a senior advisor in her father's administration, didn't escape criticism either. In April 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Ivanka and her family left Washington, D.C. for Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey to celebrate Passover. Both states were under strict stay-at-home orders at the time. The White House defended the move as essential, but the public wasn't convinced, especially since Ivanka had publicly advised Americans to avoid unnecessary travel just days earlier. The trip not only undermined public trust, it highlighted the blurred lines between personal privilege and public duty. Behind the scenes, the Secret Service bore the brunt of this relentless travel schedule. Protecting the president's children is non-negotiable, but the Trump family's extensive and global movement stretched the agency's resources to the brink. International trips like the one to Vancouver for a Trump hotel opening in 2017 required massive coordination between local forces and U.S. embassies. Former Secret Service agents described the experience as exhausting, with many reporting burnout due to the sheer volume of high-risk assignments. In the end, the Trump children's travel habits became more than tabloid fodder, they became a case study in how personal ambition can collide with public accountability. When it comes to the Trump family's travel habits during Donald Trump's presidency, the controversy extends far beyond security costs. It reaches deep into the pockets of American taxpayers and circles right back into the Trump Organization. In a move that raised serious eyebrows, many of the Trump family's trips included stays at Trump-owned properties. That meant not only were taxpayers covering the Secret Service's travel expenses, but federal funds were also flowing directly into Trump businesses. In 2017 alone, the Secret Service requested an extraordinary $60 million in additional funds, with nearly half allocated specifically for protecting the Trump family and their lavish lifestyle at places like Trump Tower. This was a massive leap from the $80 million total protective travel budget back in 2015. But the most jarring part becomes clear when you start comparing these figures to past administrations. During Joe Biden's time as vice president, his extended family, including adult children and grandchildren, took 1,882 protected trips over 7 years. While that may seem like a high number, it's still dwarfed by the Trump family's average of over 1,600 protected trips per year. The contrast becomes even more dramatic when looking at Mike Pence's family, who took only 190 protected trips in 2 years. These numbers paint a clear picture. The Trump family's travel patterns were not just expensive, they were unprecedented in modern political history. The ethical implications of these trips go beyond simple numbers. Critics argue that Donald Trump's failure to distance himself from his private business empire created a dangerous gray area between public duty and private profit. Unlike his predecessors, Trump refused to place his assets in a blind trust, instead handing over operational control to Donald Jr. and Eric, while still retaining ownership. This arrangement allowed the Trump brand to flourish during his presidency, benefiting from the increased visibility and indirectly from taxpayer-backed visits to Trump-owned properties. These frequent business-related trips, masked under the guise of necessary protection, intensified concerns about conflicts of interest and the misuse of public resources. Still, some defenders, including the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch, argue that Americans knew what they were voting for, a businessman with a high-profile family and sprawling global ventures. They claim the public accepted the added expenses as part of the Trump package deal. However, legal and ethics experts push back, insisting that the Trump organization should have reimbursed the government for trips that were clearly for private business purposes. Stanford law professor Robert Gordon highlighted the urgent need for restraint, urging the Trump children to use common sense when benefiting from taxpayer-funded security. As the dust settles on this chapter of presidential history, one question continues to echo across the political landscape: how do we ensure public trust when personal profit and public service are so dangerously intertwined? Expensive clothing. When it comes to fashion and wealth, few families embody both quite like the Trumps. Their luxurious lifestyle isn't just about palatial estates and high-end vacations, it's stitched into the very fabric of their wardrobes. And nowhere is this more apparent than in the carefully curated looks of Ivanka and Barron Trump. Whether they're stepping into global spotlight events or casually turning heads in public, their clothing choices are statements of elegance, power, and unfiltered luxury. These aren't just outfits, they're expressions of status, crafted by some of the most elite designers in the world. Every detail, from the fabric to the tailoring, whispers a message: this is what it means to live at the pinnacle of privilege. Ivanka Trump, in particular, has turned fashion into a diplomatic weapon and an art form. At a White House state dinner in 2018, she captivated onlookers in a shimmering $1,888 gown by the renowned brand Rodarte. The silver masterpiece sparkled with intricate beadwork, a delicate balance of glamour and restraint. Ivanka didn't merely wear the gown, she embodied its grace. Known for its refined craftsmanship, Rodarte's design mirrored Ivanka's personal brand: polished, poised, and powerful. That night, she wasn't just the first daughter, she looked every inch a global icon, commanding attention without ever demanding it. But her fashion prowess doesn't stop there. During a royal banquet with none other than Queen Elizabeth II, Ivanka turned to Carolina Herrera, a designer synonymous with timeless elegance. What is her choice? A stunning $1,600 floor-length gown in soft pink and beige. With graceful ruffles and an impeccable fit, the ensemble spoke of regality without being overbearing. It was a diplomatic fashion statement, one that nodded to tradition while asserting contemporary sophistication. In the presence of royalty, Ivanka held her own, not just as a political figure, but as a style authority whose choices are as strategic as they are stunning. And when it's time to swap evening gowns for business armor, Ivanka still doesn't miss a beat. At the G20 summit, she ditched the glitter in favor of a tailored $3,680 powder blue Oscar de la Renta suit. The look was crisp, calculated, and absolutely commanding. Every seam, every fold, was a statement. This wasn't just fashion, it was leadership wrapped in fabric. Standing alongside world leaders, Ivanka's presence was undeniable. She dressed not just to impress, but to assert. With her wardrobe, she proved once again that luxury isn't just about looking good, it's about knowing when to shine, and how to own the room without saying a single word. But Ivanka's style brilliance isn't limited to statement pieces. During a 2019 visit to the UK, she stunned onlookers with her choice of a pastel blue Sophia dress priced at $1,600. While more modest in value compared to her red carpet moments, the piece was anything but ordinary. The gentle tones and flowing design offered a refreshing simplicity that was in perfect harmony with the cool British weather. It proved that luxury doesn't always need to shout, it can whisper with elegance and still leave an impression. This look was a testament to Ivanka's fashion intelligence, knowing when to dial it down while still dressing with intent and polish. Then came the showstopper for the boardroom, the $3,440 navy blue suit by Paul Kah that Ivanka wore to the Milken Institute Global Conference. With its sharp shoulders, clean lines, and tailored precision, the ensemble was the very definition of executive chic. The minimalist approach, combined with a deep, confident shade of blue, was pure sartorial strategy. It was clear, Ivanka wasn't just attending a business conference, she was commanding the room without uttering a word. Her style echoed her brand, focused, refined, and powerful. While Barron Trump may not dominate headlines like his sister Ivanka, don't let that quiet presence fool you. His fashion game is quietly carving a lane of its own. Unlike the flashier, red carpet-ready wardrobes of other Trump family members, Barron's style leans toward sleek sophistication and understated class. With clean lines, perfect tailoring, and refined taste, he proves that luxury doesn't always have to shout to be noticed. His fashion choices speak softly, but carry a big designer tag. And when your first fashion statement includes a $9,500 Louis Vuitton presidential briefcase at just 4 years old, it's clear you're not playing by typical childhood rules. As Barron grew older, his wardrobe matured alongside him, and the results have been nothing short of impressive. A standout example is his growing collection of custom pierced bespoke suits, each tailored to perfection and priced between $3,000 and $10,000 apiece. These aren't the kind of clothes you find at a mall. They're built with high-end materials chosen specifically to suit his form and flair. Every stitch and seam signals a young man being groomed for a world stage, and with this level of craftsmanship in his closet, it's clear Barron isn't just wearing suits, he's making statements. Extravagant housing. When your last name is Trump, luxury isn't an indulgence, it's practically a birthright. From the moment they were born, Donald Trump's children were immersed in a world where gold-plated fixtures and sweeping marble staircases were simply part of the scenery. And as they've grown, their adult lives continue to echo the same grandeur, with properties that are less home and more private resort. Donald Trump Jr., the eldest, has shown a clear taste for the finer things in life. His former Hamptons estate, set on 3.9 acres of pristine land, was a masterclass in elite living. With 7 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a glowing pool, and even a serene private pond, the estate perfectly blended classic coastal charm with modern-day extravagance. When it sold for $8.1 million in 2021, it marked not just a real estate transaction, but the end of a luxurious chapter. But Don Jr. didn't downsize, he upgraded. Not long after the Hamptons sale, he and his partner Kimberly Guilfoyle moved into a stunning $9.7 million mansion in Jupiter, Florida, a property that takes tropical opulence to the next level. With 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, and a lineup of ultra-premium features, the estate is designed for both comfort and status. Imagine unwinding in your private massage room, hosting friends at a sleek bar area, or playing billiards in your own entertainment suite. A wood-paneled office reflects business sophistication, while the fitness room supports the high-powered lifestyle. Step outside and you're met with a resort-style pool, manicured waterfront gardens, and a private dock, ideal for spontaneous yachting on Florida's sun-drenched coast. Meanwhile, Ivanka Trump has charted her own course through the world of high-end real estate, favoring elegance and exclusivity at every turn. Her journey began with a chic $4.1 million apartment in Trump Park Avenue, which she later rented for $10,000 a month before upgrading to a penthouse with sweeping city views. Her lifestyle evolved with her growing family, shifting from Manhattan sophistication to a luxurious cottage near the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. During her political chapter in Washington, D.C., she and Jared Kushner lived in a $115,000 per month mansion in the elite Colorama neighborhood, rubbing shoulders with the Obamas and Jeff Bezos. But it's her bold Miami move that truly captures the imagination. In 2021, the couple dropped $32 million on a plot of land on Indian Creek Island, better known as the Billionaire's Bunker. While they wait for their dream mansion to be built, they've taken up residence in a $24 million waterfront estate. With high ceilings, lush landscaping, and endless ocean views, it's a mere preview of the majestic life still unfolding. Eric Trump may be the more reserved sibling in the Trump dynasty, but when it comes to luxury real estate, he plays the game just as well. One of his most impressive acquisitions is a $3.2 million mansion nestled in the prestigious Westchester County, New York, just a stone's throw from the family's sprawling Seven Springs estate. While Eric keeps much of his property portfolio under wraps, make no mistake, his taste for refined living aligns perfectly with the Trump standard of grandeur. Meanwhile, Tiffany Trump, raised by her mother Marla Maples, enjoyed a similarly opulent upbringing on the West Coast. After her parents' divorce in 1999, Marla bought a stunning 5,770 square foot Spanish-style mansion in the upscale hills of Calabasas, California, for $1.34 million. This was no ordinary childhood home. It boasted 5 bedrooms, a full basketball court, a resort-style pool with a water slide, and even a poolside bar. It may not have had the glittering skyline of Trump Tower, but it offered its own sun-soaked version of luxury. By 2013, Marla flipped the property for over $2 million, not just turning a tidy profit but also closing the chapter on Tiffany's idyllic, high-end California childhood. Barron Trump, the youngest of the Trump dynasty, has lived a life that most can only imagine, and it all began high above Manhattan in one of the world's most iconic residences. Before relocating to Mar-a-Lago, Barron called Trump Tower home, not just with a bedroom, but with an entire floor to himself. Imagine growing up in a $100 million penthouse stretching across 3 levels, complete with a private chef's kitchen, personal maid's quarters, and panoramic views of Central Park, all wrapped in gold and marble, of course. While other kids played with plastic castles, Barron lived in a real one. This early glimpse into opulence set the tone for a lifestyle that continues to be defined by extravagance. Fast forward to today, and Barron's new stomping grounds are none other than Mar-a-Lago, the Trump family's 20-acre Palm Beach resort that redefines luxury living. While members of this exclusive club fork over up to $200,000 just to belong, Barron enjoys the privilege of residing in a private wing, surrounded by 128 rooms, private beaches, polo grounds, and a ballroom dripping in $7 million worth of gold leaf. And it doesn't end there. Childhood for the Trump kids meant exploring estates like the Georgian mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut, complete with a Cinderella staircase, custom murals, and a putting green right in the backyard. If this is just the beginning for Barron, the future promises a lifestyle that's nothing short of royal. Loved this video? There's plenty more where that came from. Explore our channel for more fascinating content. Thanks for tuning in, see you next time.